And you need?
Sure.
Achua Penki, yun pati sa Kimu.
Got something on your mind, do you? Oh, that was not until many years later, to tell the truth. I spent quite some time wandering the galaxy. Why wouldn't they? I had refused my promotion to Jedi. I was a Padawan who had left the Order, nothing more. I traveled from one civilized system to the next, never staying long. I don't even think I knew what I was searching for. It wasn't as if my travels were pleasant either. There were plenty of folks who distrusted the Jedi after the war, or worse. If people weren't treating me with suspicion, they were looking at me with greed. I don't know how many thought they could make use of me for their own ends. I got so sick of the treachery and deceit, I left the civilized parts of the galaxy and headed instead for the uncivilized parts. Actually, I was on my way somewhere else when I crash-landed on Kashyyyk. The ship I was using was a rust bucket. I'd taken some damage passing through an unexpected asteroid field, as I recall, but I wasn't completely without some systems. I could still guide her a bit when I crashed. It wasn't what I would call the smoothest landing, especially considering I ended up smack in the depths of the Shadowlands. But I lived. I'm no mechanic, and besides, after you plunge nose first in the trunk of a 5-kilometer-high tree, chances are you don't have much ship left. Sure, why not? It seemed like an interesting enough place to spend a couple of decades exploring. That was a challenge at first. You've seen the kind of creatures that exist down there, and you missed the really big ones. I was still able to rely on the Force to keep me safe for the most part. The rest of the trick is keeping out of the way of most of the predators. No, that's true. Still, most of the creatures grow accustomed to me, and I to them. At least none of them ever heard of a Jedi. Oh, they did at first, oh yes. I can't say I was overly pleased to encounter a group of indigenous giant carpets either, I can assure you of that. No, I was the intruder in their land after all. They got to trust me well enough after a couple of decades of my aid. When I could, I would assist a few young ones who would get lost in the Shadowlands or attacked unexpectedly by the wildlife. I must say, for a while there the Wookiees actually thought I was some kind of benevolent forest god. Amusing, really. I set them straight eventually. Nonsense. I had no idea that's what they were thinking for a long time. I just thought they were being friendly neighbors, leaving fruit and such for me. Later, when I started to understand some of their grunting, I realized they would say prayers to the Hairless One before descending into the forest. Hairless One. I used to have plenty of hair, I tell you. At any rate, it took a few bruises, but I set the record straight. I traveled to Rookwaro and met with the chieftain in front of everyone. Freyr swatted at me just to see if I was real or not. I was real, and while it was a light swat, Wookiees are terribly strong. I was knocked out cold for a day. The Wookiees all thought it was quite funny. At first, when the slavers took to hunting down lone Wookiees in the fringes of the Shadowlands, I did my best to divert them. Later, when Shundar made his deal, I didn't see any point. I wasn't here to save them from their own sad follies, after all. Not really. Kashyyyk is a place you can feel very small in. It felt good to devote my time to helping people and living simply. What can I say? I did it all for the Wookiees. The Wookiees? Well, okay, maybe I needed some time on a quiet and remote planet, but if you ever need a friend, an incredibly strong hairball isn't a bad call. I suppose I am in a way, despite the smell. For a race of gardeners, they've developed quite interestingly. You remember the alien computer, correct? Kashyyyk was meant to be an agricultural planet. The Wookiees were made for a reason, or at least that's what I'm thinking. But I'm an old man who's had a long time to develop that opinion, so don't argue with me. At any rate, we should be moving along, don't you think? If you sat around this long in the Shadowlands, attack would eat you.
Hey there, what can I do for you? It seems to me that if you don't really remember anything about being Revan, then it doesn't really matter anymore. You are who you are now, right? I don't see the Sith Lord standing here. I see a friend who's been with us through thick and thin. Remember, Malik's the one who tried to destroy Terrace.
Got something on your mind, do you? No more than you. Get going. Oh,
Yeah, what do you want? Your...
Statement. Commentary. That is unnecessary now, Master. I have been returned to you and my memory core is now fully functional. Statement. My functionality has now been fully restored, Master. I exist to serve Revan as your personal battle droid. In time, my assassination protocol can be restored, and at that point I will once again endeavor to eliminate any meatbag opposition you may have. Statement. Statement. Yes, Master. You created me shortly after you and your apprentice began your war to conquer the galaxy. I was sent on an assassination mission into Mandalorian space, but I was damaged and unable to return to you. Exclamation. I find this most distressing. I could certainly have protected you from the Jedi and your pupil's betrayal had I returned. Observation. You may be right, Master. This way we are reunited, and neither of us has suffered permanent termination. Observation. You are different in many fundamental ways, Master. You have a concern for life that is unsettling. This cannot solely be caused by memory loss. I do not know how to explain it. Regardless, you do seem to be improved overall from the human I once knew. Answer. No, Master. You never did make me privy to any of the Starforge's secrets. Commentary. Your former pupil is efficient and brutal, even for an organic. I rather liked him when you first introduced me to him. If I had known what he would do to you, Master, I would have gladly removed his entrails right then. Answer. It was you who programmed me thus, Master. Your pupil once asked me what I thought of him, and I informed him of his meatbag status. He was unimpressed, but you found the reference humorous. You changed my programming so that I would continue to use the term. It drove your pupil to extreme lengths of frustration. Observation. Of course you do, Master. You did then as well. As you desire, Master. Signing off.
Got something on your... Are we back to that again? What's the best way for me to approach this? Perhaps it's time for a little story. You just keep quiet there, you. I've had to put up with all your busybody questions, haven't I? Well, now you'll listen to a story, damn it! Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the story. You almost made me forget about it. Nice try, but I'm not that old just yet. Now then, a young man sees a terribly venomous snake in his small village. Nervous, he watches the snake carefully until it leaves. The young man follows the snake into the forest. He clears the branches out of its path and helps it over obstacles. He even works to keep it fed. Shush! Many nights pass, and still the young man continues to follow the snake. He even follows it into the sands of the great desert. In the desert, the snake eventually grows hungry. It turns and bites the young man, its poison quickly working its way into his system. Finally, curious, the snake looks at the boy as he lays dying and asks, "Why were you foolish enough to follow me all the way out into the desert?" The boy looks back and replies, "Did I follow you? I thought I was leading you away from everyone else." And then he died. Well, now, that's what I wanted to see for myself. I've told you before that you have a destiny before you. This does not mean, however, that your future is already written. They are not the same thing. You have the choice of which direction you take your destiny in. More than engine-sucking Andor, certainly, but even he had a choice. So far, you've chosen to take the lighter path. Can you stay that course, even through the challenges ahead? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not here to judge you or tell you which path to take. I'm here ready to offer you my help, should you ask for it. I do that because I think it's important. More important than remaining in my home and pretending the galaxy doesn't exist. That's why I'm here. I'm rather glad I came too, really. You're a fine young lad. I hope things turn out well for you. Now then, I've chatted enough for one lifetime. Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
How can you possibly be Raven? The Jedi whose troops saved me on Taris. It was Raven, leading an army out to defeat the Mandalorians. It was you. I knew when I heard that you had become the Dark Lord of the Sith, that something was wrong with it. The man who saved me could never go completely to the dark side. It is good to know that you have truly changed. It gives me hope. I do not think now that I will fall to the dark side. I only have to look at you and follow by your example, and there is no way I can fail. Yes, that is true. I suppose you would know better than I. I will never forget what you did for me, even if you do not remember it. How may I be of... What the... Of course...
What?
Nice to see the Hawk still in one piece. Beauty of a ship, that. Oh, nobody special. I just do the routine maintenance work for the ships that come in. I used to see the Hawk here all the time. Ah, I've seen this little ship before plenty of times. Used to make runs for the exchange, didn't it? Korriban's nice and remote. The kind of place the exchange likes. You don't need to worry about me saying anything. I don't give a whit what you do with your ship. Smuggling's what the Hawk was made for, though. Oh, no, but you sure can. Not much. It's a pretty barren planet, to tell the truth. Not of much interest to anyone. Unless you're a Sith, I guess. They seem to think this place is something special. Probably all them ruins they found on the surface. That's the reason they built their academy here, I guess. To dig all them ruins up. There's people that come here from all over Sith space to try and join the academy. Most of them die, I hear. Pretty gruesome business, that. You don't. Not unless you're a Sith in the academy. They're the only ones allowed on the surface. They pay Zerka to ship things in and out, I guess, but that's all closely monitored. I don't know. There's all kinds of hopefuls in the colony trying to get in. Why don't you ask one of them? There's people that come here from all over Sith space to try and join the academy. Most of them die, I hear. Pretty gruesome business, that. A star map? You mean like a navigation chart? If them Sith found a star map in those ruins, nobody's ever mentioned it. Yep, take care now.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Donk nabung. Takom justak miki grabel mogo. Kachi chu ay tao donga. Chibedwana ni bobo. Donk nabung sha. Kuya mi jus kachita naipatoga. Uy, itanadan. Kuya mi jus kachita naipatoga. Achuta. Tabistubong konkipangpa. Chingpalachiska muli. Tuniranan tonghay tuam jiji yumalit pa ang yingkotu. Tolbada bungkwa. Takom justak miki grabel mogo. Kachi chu ay tao donga. Kuya mi jus kachita naipatoga ya fulki kukulaji. Tuni pudu. Rananu. Ako Jacopa. Gino. Muchachak.
No, that is the wrong answer. Again, you pathetic hopefuls can't possibly all be this stupid, can you?
Watawama mulira. King kunjope shak. No ba mulira ji.
I'm no master, yet, but I like the sound of that. All right, one more question. Though a lot of you is trying my patience. All right, let's say you become a Sith and I am your commanding officer. I give you an order to spare the life of an enemy. Do you do it?
Of course, Shaldan. Anything you command us.
We would never oppose you.
No, no, no. Oh, do you honestly believe that the Sith are in need of such sniveling cowards? Mercy is a weakness. If your leader shows weakness, it is your duty to kill him and show true authority, true power. That is why the Sith are strong.
Tunipudu! Rana no prata!
No, you don't understand, and you probably never will. You wouldn't survive 5 seconds in the academy. The other students would tear you apart. Bah! I can't be bothered with fools. Perhaps I should... You, Jedi! You're looking to get into the academy, are you not? Well, of course you are. Why else would you be here? Let me pose a question to you. These hopefuls will never survive in the academy. A lesson must be taught here, but I am at a loss as to what form it should take.
Oh, this is rich.
I wasn't talking to you. I'm thinking to spare them the effort of being killed and do it myself. Perhaps I shall turn their skin inside out. Or force lightning. Yes, it's a most impressive display. Or perhaps a bit of humiliation is in order. I could easily strip off their tunics and make them run through the colony. Or they could lose all control of their bodily functions. What do you think? I just can't seem to decide.
Please, tell him to let us go, I beg you.
Silence. Why not, ask you? I'm rather exhausted from dealing with hopefuls like these. I can barely think straight. Besides, I find it fun. Come now, a decision, please. Let them go? And what could possibly convince me to do that? No, I think it's you who isn't worth my time. Them I prefer to kill. Just feel lucky I don't squish you while I'm at it.
Uchua Penki, Chaubaso, Ji, Nikava Duba, Kaki. Uchua Penki, Chaubaso, Ji, Chaubaso, Ji, Chau.
Look here, my dear friends. We have some newcomers to the colony, led by a Jedi, no less. I don't believe I've seen any of them before, have you?
I hate Jedi, and these fallen ones are worse. They always get into the academy, and they think they're better than the rest of us.
You should turn around and move along, kid. You don't want the trouble we'd give you.
Smart-mouthed newcomers, to boot.
Looks pretty fresh to me, Lashao.
That's what I thought. Well, stranger, I don't know whether you're aware of this or not, but here on Korriban, the Sith do as they please. And we are Sith. Quite literally, whether you live or die depends upon our whim. What do you think of that,
You couldn't find your backside with both hands and your friends.
How precocious. I think this one tried to make a joke, don't you?
I didn't think it was funny.
Neither did I. A brave face, perhaps, but I'm more interested in being amused at the moment, I think. What do you say? Amuse us. Make us laugh, and we might just consider allowing you to live. What?
I think someone just stood up to you, Lashao.
Shut up, fool, unless you want to be next.
Yeah? Anytime. Stop it. This is boring. Let's just go back to the academy.
Fine, we'll go. As for you, I'll find you later. Trust me on that.
Access to the civilian quarters in the Zerka mining facility is temporarily restricted whilst this door is under maintenance.
Greetings. You've heard of that awful business on Idian, yes? Our corporate outpost there has been destroyed by the Wookiee savages. This could put back the use of Wookiee labor considerably. We may even have to abandon the planet completely. Well, what can you do? Sorry. Was there something you needed? We do some mining here, and are responsible for local shipping and support of the Sith on Korriban. Our starport is mostly just freighters and such. But we do get many travelers that come here to learn from the Sith. This office is actually our administrative headquarters for this region. Rather inauspicious, isn't it? We offer good prices here to those traders that keep the colony supplied. If you're in need of anything, this is the place to come. Well, why not? This is Sith space now, and the company has to survive regardless of who is in charge. The Republic, the Sith, the economy has to keep going. Now, was there anything else? Certainly. Zerka sends freighters to the surface every now and again to ferry artifacts to the core. The men are not allowed out of their ships, however, as only Sith are allowed on the surface. Beyond that, I really can't say. They call the site the Valley of the Dark Lords. Ancient Sith are buried in tombs there, along with many artifacts of old. Some of great power, apparently. I don't know anything else. Neither will you, I'm sure. Only the Sith students are allowed access to the site. Not much. The Sith are a rather secretive lot, and they don't allow many into the Academy. I hear they claim that Korriban was inhabited long ago by other Sith, but no one really knows if that's true. The planet is certainly uninhabited outside of Dresde, and always has been. Only prospective students. We get many who come here each year hoping to get picked. Many are simply considered too weak, I'm afraid. I understand there is one main person amongst the Sith who decides which students are worthy. Euthura Ban, I believe her name is. Other than in the Academy itself, I'm sorry, I don't know. Do come again. Aren't you the human who won the swoop race on Manan? Congratulations and well done. It was most exciting to watch. It is an honor to have you in our offices. How may Zerka serve you? You certainly can. Allow me to punch up our stock.
Ujua Penki, Tong Hitwama Ji, Human Act. Tong Hitwama Aki Inko Tune, or Tong Hitwama Ji Aki Inko, Chiwi Aita Ka Chong Chicha, Agi Just Cronky to Patslimo, Chi. Tinkuin ko ka, Kinbani Cha Lora Kun, Kakin Cha Nawabakaon. Pichage borang Nikaba dubaka Patisa Kon Uchua Penki Tong Itwama Ji Human Tinkuin ko ka Kinbani Cha Lora Kun